These debate things are kind of getting old. The problem I have with these debates we see online is they debate over positions that the other side has to subscribe to 100%, and if they're found to be inconsistent on something within that worldview, they have just been destroyed and owned. And suddenly the other side that has remained logically consistent so far is now the winner of the debate. But these debates, the reason I would have a hard time choosing a side is, and call me a centrist or whatever, that's fine, but it's because I know there are holes in every single worldview. So, for example, if I were in one of these debates and I subscribe to a particular worldview, and the holes in that worldview are revealed, I won't be allowed to say, well, let's work on that and find a way that perhaps is different from the worldview as a whole. People aren't allowed to say that in debates. They can't say, well, no to this, but yes to this. We poke holes in arguments, and if there are a few holes, the entire framework is thrown out because it seems there needs to be an absolutely perfect logic behind what people say or believe. It even looks kind of stupid to witness the comments section because if they are not focused on the topic, they're just cheering on their favorite debater with, "Ooh, Timmy got him, W Timmy." And maybe I'm just getting old because I'm not in that mindset anymore. I find a lot of these debates to be interesting or important topics, but they're not really focused on the issue itself. They're more about who's going to get owned or destroyed. It's very rare you find debates on these platforms where two people are trying to find a solution to some problem and they debate between their two different ideas in good faith so they can come to some sort of common ground and perhaps find a nice solution to the problem they're trying to solve. I would much prefer debates that are actually about, get this, debating. Let's genuinely throw some ideas out there. Let's pick one that seems good and explore it. And if something within it turns out to be bad, we don't completely disregard it. We minimize the bad and maximize the good. That probably sounds a bit utilitarian, but that's not really what I mean. Anyway, these debates don't seem very productive to me. I would like to see debates that are actually about finding solutions and maybe even common ground. Destroying and winning a debate to me has just gotten old. And I actually received secondhand embarrassment when one of the debaters explicitly stated to their opponent that they destroyed them. I know this word gets thrown around a lot, but I actually do cringe a little bit whenever I witness that. That stuff was cool in 2015 and stuff, but I'm almost 30 years old. I've grown out of the debate bro stuff. I have recognized my mortality. These debates we usually see use a type of pettiness that just isn't for me anymore. I really think it would be nice to see some real debating going on in these spaces. Obviously, this isn't every single debate. I just believe it's the vast majority of them. It seems there's a small group for genuinely debating things, and then there is the bigger group that is the pseudo debates. Maybe I'll get some negative criticism for that, but that's just what I believe it is. These things have their place. Sometimes when I'm bored, watching people argue can just be a hilarious way to pass the time, but I don't really find these debates to actually be productive. The other day I watched a more recent debate, and it seemed the two debaters actually agreed on a lot of things, and they were both just misunderstanding each other's side, but one side was asking most of the questions, and the recipient of the questions, to me, appeared to be arguing in good faith. He was answering questions and saying, hey, I agree with that, that sounds good. And right before he could reiterate that his worldview holds the same position, the guy asking him questions just kept steamrolling the conversation and eventually ended the debate with, see, he agrees with me, he conceded, I've won. I'm paraphrasing obviously, but this is essentially what he said. In reality, their worldviews had overlapping qualities. They weren't all that far apart, but the quote-unquote winner made sure the audience knew that he had won. And reading the live feed was eye-opening. Tons of common Timmy W. And I'm just sitting there like, they both agree on a lot of things. This could be productive, but instead one guy is trying to convince the audience that his worldview is the correct one because he steered most of the conversation without letting his opponent get much out. And the audience appeared to just be oblivious to this. And this is not to say I'm a smarty pants and I'm super knowledgeable or observant. I'm probably one of the stupidest people somebody could ever meet, but I still stand by this point. I just wish these debates would be genuine debates. Like I said, they can be good entertainment if you're bored and just want to hear people argue for the lulz, but in the grand scheme of things, if these were actual debates, I think people could learn a whole lot from them. Real debates just aren't as common as I would like them to be. But those are my thoughts. That's it. Goodbye.